and I'm the marketing manager here at AFTA. We are really proud to host the September webinar, which is the first in a whole series of webinars designed for our travel agents and hosted by Google. And before I introduce you to the representative Jackie from Google, who is going to take you through today's webinar, I'm just going to give you an overview of what's to come. So we've partnered with Google because every time we talk to our travel agent members, we identify that there is this real craving to understand how they can have a stronger presence in the online space and how you can reach consumers and drive them to your business and understand, help the consumers identify and purchase through you in the online space. And there's many ways to do it, and it's I guess a changing beast, and all these questions have come about, and we've realized that we really need to upskill you and support you in this space. And so over the next couple of months, we'll be running a host of webinars which will take you through various aspects of the online space and educate you so that you can adopt best practice in the online space in your business. So first, a little bit of housekeeping. The sessions will be recorded, and it's recorded so that we can put it on our website and you can revisit it at a later date, or you can share it with colleagues. You are in listen-only mode, which means you're on mute, but we would love some questions. So if throughout the presentation you think of something that you need answered, feel free to use the toolbox, the question toolbox in your your webinar panel, and you can just type them in there and we'll answer them at the end. So enough of me speaking. I'm really proud to introduce Jackie from Google, who is going to take you from here. And I'll just really pleased to say that Jackie heads up new customer sales team at Google Australia. So he's a real authority in this space and is really keen to be working with you coming forward.
Thanks, Jo. So welcome to the first of the Google webinar series for travel agents. Today I'm here to talk to you about winning in micro moments. So micro moments are these new digital reflexes where users, customers, they're fulfilling those moments where they want to do something or want to go somewhere, or they want to buy something or want to know something. So these are very intent-rich moments when we're turning to our devices for help, and they're becoming increasingly critical for businesses to win, because these are those moments when preferences are being shaped and decisions are being made. So I'll start off this webinar with a short video with more about micro moments. So let us launch that now. Okay, so I hope that video gave you a short snippet of what we're talking about today. fundamentally, mobile is what has changed everything. It's not that it's just enabled us to be always on, but it's actually changed the nature of how we as consumers, as people, are acting and reacting in life. 9 in 10 people today turn to their smartphone for information and ideas whilst they're doing a given task. Just recently, I'm not the best chef in the world, but like over the weekend, I bought, I was trying to make a fennel salad, and I'd never used fennel before. What did I do? I turned to my smartphone, Googled how to chop up fennel, and watched a YouTube video which taught me how. So fundamentally, this is very different to how things were even 5 years ago. As users, we're much more sporadic and spontaneous about how we act, when and where we want to, or when and where we're motivated to. It's not about when and where we're able to. And so the underlying driver of this change is mobile devices. On average, people check their phone 150 times a day, and it's hard to believe that there's any time for anything else. So what are they doing? Well, they're tuning in to check their emails. They're texting their friends, their spouses, their family. They're seeing what their friends are up to. And across all these moments, consumers aren't necessarily seeking out a brand. And because they are in control of their own media choices, they're very capable of tuning you out. But there are certain moments when users do choose to tune brands and businesses in. And as businesses, these are those moments when you have to be ready for. These are moments when people act on their needs. They want to learn something, do something, and more importantly, they want to buy something. So let's get straight into the crux of what we define as micro-moments. Micro-moments are those times where we reflexively turn to our nearest device. It's most often the smartphone. And we act on a need that we have in that moment. For businesses, it's critical to be there at these spontaneous, intent-rich moments, because they're moments where decisions are being shaped and preferences are being made. So why should you care? It is because these seemingly small moments are now the new battleground for customers. It's where hearts and minds and dollars are being won today, because it's how people are navigating their situations and decisions in life. When they want to learn, do, or even buy something, they take action, and a brand or a business is either there for them in that moment or they're not. So why did Google get so fascinated by this idea of micro-moments? Well, it's because we looked at a lot of internal data, and we found a few trends that were very, very interesting. First, we've seen a 34% increase in mobile share of online sessions across the web in the past year. Now, at the same time, we've seen a 7% decrease in the time spent per visit across the web in the past year. So in other words, as mobile accounts for more online sessions, they're actually getting shorter. But a lot's happening in these shorter sessions. And in the past year, mobile conversion rates, so people actually choosing to purchase on their mobile phone, have increased by 58%. What all these numbers tell us is that we're no longer researching purchases in long, dedicated sessions on a laptop or on a desktop. Instead, we're reaching for our phones in that moment to access information faster than ever before, and as a result, we make more informed decisions faster than before. These, by the numbers, is what we call micro-moments. So Google wanted to understand this new micro-moment consumer behaviour better, and we went out and spoke to people and asked them to video capture parts of their daily lives when mobile played a role. We also partnered with research agencies to understand what was happening quantitatively, and we also looked at our internal search data. So looking at when people were searching, what people were searching for, to get a better grasp of micro-moments. 4 years, and this is what we found. 4 years ago, we would probably have presented the above trend, which was, as you can see with the dark grey line, mobile usage sat fairly low and stable throughout the day until evenings, where it does peak, and particularly before bedtime. There are a lot more peaks and troughs as desktop computers still remain the primary device that we access the web with. Today, things are very, very differently. If you look at the time that we're awake, what you see on screen right now is the mobile searches, which are happening consistently throughout the day. In fact, when you kind of compare weekend activity and behaviour, when users have more choice in what they want to do with their time, we're seeing the line is close to flat, which shows that people are constantly searching in short bursts, frequently throughout the whole day. Admittedly, these moments seem small and almost mundane, but in many ways, that's just the point. Your biggest opportunities come in these smallest moments. Like, do brands, do we as consumers want businesses and brands that interrupt us when we're checking with friends, or when we're trying to, do something random like go on maps, or do we want brands that really help us to accomplish something? So these moments when people tune in represent a really big opportunity for you as a business to be relevant to the consumer's needs, and in the process win their hearts, minds and their dollars. But in order to win, we have to understand that some moments matter more than others. So we have to identify those moments when people are looking to make choices and inform decisions. We have to understand what people are tuning in for and what they truly need. And we have to find ways to be relevant and useful in their daily lives. And this is where Google helps. Like, we often say that there is no relationship more intimate between you and your Google search bar. And you think about some of the things that you search for, you can probably relate to that. So as a company, we have this immense amount of data and a rich understanding of people's intent and context. So today I'll share with you some of those insights from the data that we do have. Businesses most commonly ask me and my team, what does the consumer journey look like? Like, if you can tap into what the purchase journey looks like, then you're able to message them in a customized way. You're able to kind of hit potential customers with the right message at the right time in the right context. It's a good question about the consumer journey, but it's one that's actually quite difficult to answer because everyone is so unique. But what we do know with the micro moments finding is that the purchase journey is not a funnel. It's actually more like a pretzel. People come in and out at different places, and people who are not aware of your business yesterday might just buy from you today because you were there in the moment that they needed it. They needed your products and services. So we're going to shed some light on this today with some real data. We've worked with a third-party research agency to examine the behaviour of an opted-in panel of people who agreed to share all their digital behaviour automatically captured. So we were able to look at someone's activities, their online activities across their computers, their laptops, their tablets, their mobile, across everything that we're doing, watching videos, searching, or just browsing the web. So this is what one person's micro moment looks like over a 2-month period. This picture, which shows a giant barcode, is actually all the digital moments belonging to a single person over 2 months. So these moments that I mentioned covered search, the web, videos, and apps. Each bar in that barcode is an individual digital interaction. So in this 2-month period, there were 38,983 moments. But of course, it's the content of these moments that's really interesting. So up on screen now are 5 purchase journeys we've picked that span a few different industries and purchase types. As you can see, each journey is made up of its own moments. Some journeys are short, like buying a pizza, you have one digital moment. Getting a credit card is a small burst of activity, but others are longer and more spread out. So we're going to zoom in on that Disneyland holiday because as travel agents, I'm assuming you'd be very curious as to how people are, or how this particular user researched and ultimately purchased their Disneyland holiday. So the Disneyland holiday purchase journey contained 419 digital moments. What's interesting isn't actually the number of moments, but where, when, and how they're happening. And so when we break that down, we saw firstly they're happening across all digital channels. So the user is searching, they're watching videos, and they're reading a lot of content online and across the web. Secondly, they're happening across devices. So it's happening on desktop computers as well as mobile. But they're happening, like if you look at the mobile lines, they're more frequently happening on mobile devices. So over the course of that period, there were extremely frequent online searches. Online activities. There were 34 Google searches, 5 videos, and 380 web visits that occurred. And 87% of these moments happened on mobile. And this is a challenge that you face as a business. People's purchase behavior is now all over the place. So if you structure your marketing approach, if your structural marketing approach treats channels as separate, you're kind of treating individuals as separate. So I dived into 2 particular moments. What you see on screen is the I want to find a travel agent moment. And in this moment, our user starts with a search for Disneyland travel agency. She then moves across to the web on her phone and travels back and forth between the search results and different travel agencies to discover which one she wants to choose. The insight here is that this is a moment when her mind is open to all brands and all businesses. The fact that she's looking for an answer means she's particularly receptive. She may have seen a lot of ads offline, but some moments matter more than others, and in this moment, this is where the leading option can win or lose the race. As we continue through this user's journey, things get more personal. She starts to think about her experiences that her and her family could have at Disneyland. And what you see then is a show me more about the rooms moment. So whilst browsing the web, she sees videos showing guest-created tours of Disneyland. The one at the top actually shows the restaurant, and it's a YouTube video. And the one at the bottom is a video of a hotel room. So it's not surprising that people search for and find travel agencies, but this moment really made me sit up and take notice. Like, video walkthroughs are now a factor in the travel decision-making process. So what does that mean for your business? Well, it means that when customers are planning their trips, they want and expect this kind of useful content from businesses and brands themselves. So they expect this content from Disneyland. They expect it from their travel company or the hotels. But right now, not a lot of businesses and brands are providing this content. These videos are actually users like capturing these video walkthroughs. So in an age where the battle for customers is getting tougher and tougher, and the ability for businesses to create real loyalty is getting harder, this is a great opportunity to think about customer experience in a totally new way. After a customer books their flight, what information could a travel agent provide them with? Like perhaps it's branded content, or maybe it's like useful links for example, families traveling long haul with children. So understanding the digital purchase is still a nascent science. Like, we haven't really nailed this yet. But it's worth investigating because consumers are leading the way and their behaviours is already determining your success. There's also an important characteristic of this moment's mindset that I want to raise, which is sessions versus moments. The analogy I like to use is that things used to be like a 3-course meal sitting in a restaurant, but now we are grazing all day, having bite-sized snacks all over town. So why should you as a business care? Well, when consumers are doing this, a business is either there for them in that moment or they're not. And you're either there with a helpful or delightful experience, something relevant for that moment, or you're not there at all. So our research shows that there are 4 new moments that every business should know about. So I'm going to walk through each of these right now. The first is the I want to know moment. And this is about satisfying our curiosity as users. Now, we used to have to wait and go and look up information. You know, I still remember, like, kind of showing my age, but like looking up the encyclopedia for a piece of information. But now we can literally pull it up at the tip of our fingertips. 95% of smartphone users say they turn to their phones for immediate information, ideas, or advice. Now, 57% of smartphone users have picked up their phone in the middle of a conversation to find more information about something that was said. I mean, this happened to me very, very recently where my husband and I were debating whether the guy in the movie was Al Pacino or Robert De Niro. I'm sure we've all had those moments where we're debating with our spouses and we're reaching for the phone to kind of settle the debate. The second is the I want to go moment, because we are going places and mobile is helping blur the lines between the digital and the physical world. Today, location ads are an incredibly important signal both to advertisers and to consumers who want to know what's relevant to them locally. 82% of smartphone users turn to a search engine when looking for a local business. And there's been a doubling in near-me searches over the past year. The third moment I want to discuss is the I want to do moment. And this is when we're wanting to do things. So consumers are no longer having to wait to find out how to do something. You know, we can look it up instantly, whether it's fixing a leaking faucet, which I had to do in the weekend of passing, or how to recreate a celebrity hairstyle at home. Like searches relating to how to on YouTube are growing 70% year over year, and 58% of smartphone users have searched online for information on how to fix something in the past 3 months. Lastly, and probably most importantly for businesses, it's the I want to buy moment, right? These are people making purchase decisions at all stages of that journey. They might be looking to quickly replace something they just broke, or they're looking for information on the car they're thinking about buying. Across the board, what we're seeing is that these moments are happening more frequently. So I'm mindful of time, so I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to ask questions. So I'll just wrap this up with this in the video. But micro moments are changing the rules for how businesses engage with consumers. You know, first, thanks to mobile, consumers expect to be able to take action on their needs immediately because they can. Secondly, consumers have higher expectations of businesses and brands. They don't just expect things to be immediate, they expect them to be relevant, taking into account their context. In other words, they want things right and right away. And thirdly, in these moments, consumers are more loyal to their needs than to the brand. So it often is, if I need something, I don't really, a brand that I didn't know about yesterday, if that brand or that business fulfill my needs today when I need it as I'm searching, then I'm more than happy to give this business my dollars. So with that in mind, this slide is a little bit early, but that's not a problem. In travel, there are 4 unique moments that we have identified at Google. Firstly, it's that I want to get away moment, and we call the dreaming moment. And the dreaming moment happens when people are exploring destinations, options, and ideas with no firm plans. At this stage, people are looking for inspiration. The second moment is that time to make a plan moment, so also known as the planning moment, that happens when people have chosen a destination, looking for the right dates, the right flights, the right place to stay, and all the things they'll do while they're there. Then it's the let's book it moment. And that happens when the research is done and people are ready to book and reserve their rooms. And lastly, it's the can't wait to explore moment, which is also known as the experiencing moment. That happens when the trip is underway and travellers are ready to live the trip they've been dreaming about and share it with others. So these are the moments that as travel agents, like you'd want to consider, because if you are there with relevant information that's taking into account these contexts that your potential customers are in, this is what's going to help you win in that micro moment. So I thought we'd hear from one of our research participants, Dee, who was planning a family safari to Africa. So here's a short snippet of the video that we captured of Dee as she was searching for her, or researching her trip.
Hi, Dee is here. I thought I should tell you about part of the research. I am wanting to organise a safari for my family to celebrate my 60th birthday. Okay, so you've been planning a safari. Tell us about how that process began. The process has been going for about 3 months, really. I needed to know whether the airfares did major jump any time from December or January. So I started searching to see if that was the case. So I Googled, you know, airfares, Sydney, Lusaka. I looked at WebJet and Skyscanner, and predictably the time around second half of December and first half of January is the most expensive.
Okay, so you start to search on the phone and then get migrated to the computer for a bit more depth and detail.
Yes, and just ease of navigation on a larger screen. But I found out the initial answer on my phone. When I get the go-ahead with timing, I'll go back to those sites, start booking camps, and start booking it. I spent a huge amount of time organising any holiday that we had. Organised to within an inch of its life.
Sounds like you probably wouldn't even need to go on a trip.
Probably don't even need to go. Let us say a fortune. I'm really happy.
Okay, so I hope that gave you a little bit of a snapshot in terms of how, or this is the type of research that we have done to look into travel micro moments. So ultimately, it's around connecting the dots. The good news is that you as businesses already have all the tools and experience and knowledge you need to win in these micro moments. Within your own businesses, you and your staff are the best positioned to not only understand these new customer behaviours, but to act. To do this, you need to focus on three things. You need to identify your micro moments. You need to deliver on consumer needs in that moment, and you need to measure all of the moments that matter. And this is where the rest of the, we will help you with the rest of this webinar series. Definitely delve into each of these topics more, specifically into the delivering on the needs in that moment and measuring those moments that matter, especially on the digital platforms. So with that, I think that's what I was going to say in my next slide. Micro moments will form the path to purchase, and we'll explore more with some more travel research in the next webinar. But I'll open it up to to all of you. If you have any questions and discussion, please please feel free to enter your questions into the panel in your webinar box, and I'll be happy to field any questions anyone might have.
Thank you so much for your time, Jackie. That was very interesting and definitely very relevant for our members. So just seeing if we've got any questions. So I have a question here about, was the data of 58% increase in phone sales specific to an age group or favouring an age group specifically?
No. So the data around, we explored kind of, it wasn't any particular age group demographic. So it was like from 14 plus. That's kind of what we looked at.
We have another question here about the videos that were shown. So the whole how-to videos on hotels and bedrooms and tour types, should they be professionally shot and edited or more authentic, so personal videos that might have experienced it, or a consultant that might have gone somewhere? Can a consultant go somewhere, experience, and then put it up on their website? Do you have an opinion?
Well, I think that what YouTube has shown is that, like, the cost of producing a really polished video is the biggest deterrent for businesses to actually create these videos. YouTube has shown that it doesn't matter about the quality. People are just interested in the video experience and they want to watch. So I think it's more important, like if you have the resources to make it a very polished, you know, produced video, fantastic. But if you don't, then like it's around delivering on the need of the user, and for them, they want to know more about a particular hotel. They want to know more about a particular destination. And all the videos, the majority of videos on YouTube fulfilling these needs are user videos. They're not at all produced. You know? Yeah.
And I think further to that, there's been so many videos that I've personally seen on social media platforms, maybe it's Facebook or Twitter, of someone that's somewhere overseas taking a video in that moment, and I think, wow, that destination looks amazing. Exactly. I want to actually go there. So I think personally, I find the more real and authentic they are, the more
relatable.
Yeah,
and the
definitely.
More, yeah. you find it to be more honest and it's more like...
that's the word I'm looking for.
I can understand. Yeah.
So here's a question. What's a tip for a new online travel brand? You know, where should they spend their money first in the online space?
That's a great question. I would say in search. I would say that for a new brand, and definitely not just in the travel industry, like across all the other categories, we've seen a lot of challenger brands enter the market and be able to claim market share really, really quickly. How are they doing this? Well, they're actually doing something very digitally savvy, I would say. They're capitalizing on all the category awareness that like the big leader brands are generating with their big TV campaigns, radio campaigns, outdoor. Now, all of that activity, what does it lead a user to do? Well, it leads them to search. And so a lot of challenger brands across Australia and across different categories are investing, like the first primary channel for investment for marketing ends up being in search, because they're acknowledging that, well, I'm just going to let all the big brands do the big marketing stuff, but I'm going to be there when a user is searching and they've got an intent to buy or they've got an intent to find out more, and I'm going to be there at #1 in the search result page, so I can kind of, in a way, capitalize and snipe that opportunity away from these other big brands. So I would definitely say, as a new brand launching or a new business launching in market, I would put my money in search because I want to see returns as quickly as possible so I can invest more.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know whether I should have said that. If you're a big brand on call, yes, I would probably funnel money in search as well.
So further on that, here's another question. Would you split your search budget across SEM and SEO or focus on one specifically? I
would say that both channels are very, very effective in driving traffic to your website. The benefit of SEM is that you have complete control. So you can control the ad text, you can show what appears, you can add extensions, enable people to call through straight away through just clicking on that ad, calling straight through to the travel agent call center, right? Whereas when it comes to SEO, I can't advise on SEO because I actually don't know what the magic formula is. And the challenge with SEO is that as soon as Google decides to change the formula, which often does happen, that investment that you've made might become a little, well, it just reshuffles everything and you may no longer be #1 on the organic listing. And so I do feel that SEO, both are important. SEM, you just have a little bit of more control.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if this is a question you can answer, but we've had someone ask, at what stage do consumers refer to other consumers' reviews?
At what stage do consumers refer to other?
Yeah, so I think I'm just wondering if this question means we might see a website and we might be encouraged to go to a website because of a Google AdWord or something. But then what stage in the purchase journey of maybe choosing travel do we then go to another consumer reviews for advice?
I mean, look, yeah, definitely during the research phase where people are most open-minded, they may not even have a destination in mind, right? That's where, like, I myself go and read user reviews. Like before I book a hotel, and I don't know any hotels in the region, I would go and look at consumer reviews. I think that if that's the question is, consumer reviews, I think now, especially online, play a very, very important role in influencing the decision that a potential customer can like ultimately make. With Google, there is like when we talk about in both organic and in ads, we have review extensions. So the availability where you can actually see how this business is rated against either through our internal Google consumer surveys or where we've got some sources where we look at like how particular hotels or destinations are rated, and that can come into your results listing.
Okay, perfect. I think that's exactly what she
was
asking.
Right.
Yeah, I've got positive feedback here.
Okay.
And I think to add to that, people are asking for other significant others reviews, and it's not linear. Like they will jump to other people's reviews at various times. Like they might find a new hotel and then go to a consumer review, and then they might research something else and go back to a consumer review. So it's not particularly one phase in the process, and it's not linear anymore. It's ad hoc and at various times and whenever it suits their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's often sometimes like you might, like this is why I think it's throughout the research journey at the very beginning when I'm just like, I don't know a particular area, I'm just researching what are the great hotels. But then also just before I purchase, let me just double check that this is a good hotel, and you kind of do a little bit more research and you read through other customers' experience. And even at that point, your decision can change. And so I think that, like, honestly, digital levels, like it's providing a level playing field to a certain degree. You know, it's less about businesses saying they're great, and it's about, well, when I need something, you know, when I want to do something, when I buy something, who's there to serve me and give me the best product or service or experience? Yeah. I think that's what it's all about.
Great. And then here's an interesting question about, I guess, airlines. How do you think, Jackie, airlines can take full advantage of micro moments? So think of an airline brand.
Yeah.
How in their marketing can they make advantage of micro moments?
I think airlines have been doing this well for a while. All right. If you think about the fact that you know, some of the partnerships that airlines have had, whether it's with supermarkets or other things, like they are trying to it's not just about purchasing that flight. It's about a lot more. Like, you know, they're trying to be there in the moments before that flight purchase, providing added value at different points of a potential customer's journey, and sometimes it could be completely relevant to travel, right? But they're providing them value and use and help, creating brand affinity, and that's like kind of the new marketer's way to try and grow loyalty, right? So a brand no longer just does it doesn't just sell a particular product or a particular service. It's actually trying to be there and fulfill a potential customer's, like multiple needs of that particular potential customers, to earn that brand equity, to earn that trust. And so then ultimately when the decision comes, when I'm choosing between Qantas and Virgin, or, you know, whatever it may be, then like I definitely have a preferred airline. I won't say which one, but like it's because it's helped me in other aspects of my life that I continue being loyal to a particular brand. I hope that answers the question.
I think so, and I'm just wondering if the person that asked that actually works at an airline.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Well,
not sure.
I don't know. So I didn't say what the, okay. I love all brands.
It was a good answer.
Okay.
Here's a question from someone. Is Google accessible from China?
That is a fantastic question. At this stage, search and YouTube is no. Right? So yeah, because of obviously government regulations. Yeah, so we are not in China. We do have, well, yeah. So the answer is no.
Okay, great. There you go. No, not at the moment. You got to thank you. So what?
You're welcome.
Can you give any insight into what role content and blogs play in the customer journey? This person blogs regularly.
Yes, great. Continue blogging, because it is a huge part of the consumer journey. So I think when I showed that barcode and we broke out the moments into search, video and web had the largest volume of moments, and that is people reading and researching on blogs, on travel websites, like across the web. So that is a very critical part of someone's travel purchase journey. I would say as well, and this is kind of like the credibility that a newspaper or like, you know, a really a newspaper body might have, or like a newspaper publisher might have in the travel sector, like that is actually lessening. Because I'm interested to hear what this amazing journalist has, like that experience that they have had. But I'm actually equally as interested to know just an everyday, you know, person who's looking to get away for, you know, for a weekend, what their experience at a particular destination is. Like this is where I feel like, and this goes back to community. So I used to work at Fairfax. So like community journalism and blogs and all of that have really changed like the whole editorial landscape. It's because people are less the brand is less important. It's still important, but it's less important. It's about, I want the information that's going to best serve my needs. I think that's the point of micro moments. It's like it does level the playing field. So keep on blogging, that's what I would say. And I think that even if you don't have a blog as a business, or you don't have, if you're not online, delivering information to users and updating that information regularly, there's a huge opportunity that you can have to establish a relationship with a potential customer.
Yeah, great. Yeah. And just on that, we do have a blog on our ATAS consumer website. So if you're a travel agent that has helped a consumer plan a dream wedding, or you're an ATAS accredited agent that has helped a consumer get out of a sticky situation, we'd love to hear your story, because we'll help turn that into a blog, which will, I guess, help attract consumers to our website, and in return help them go to your website and also see what travel services you provide. So we can help one another. So we'd love to hear from you. So contact us. So we've got to wrap it up there, but Jackie, thank you so much for the great and informative webinar today. This webinar will be online by tomorrow, so it's on afta.com.au. Just follow the navigation to the webinar page link. The full recording will be there, as well as the links to those website URLs. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of a delay through the presentation, so I do encourage you to go back and watch them again. We will also keep you informed through our newsletter and trade media, and also online, as to when the next webinar in the series will be, and we hope that you'll also join us then too. So thanks, Jackie.
No, thank you for having me.